You're watching CCN, Clarksville Community Network. Produced by Goodwin Productions. Powered by CDE Light Band.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Locker Room Talk here on the CCN Network. My name is Bryce Robinson, and I play quarterback at Austin Peay. I'm here with two of my teammates today. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves?
I'm Sam Howard. I play linebacker. I'm a junior at Austin Peay. Happy to be here.
My name's Chandler Kirton. I play right guard on the offensive line, and I am a redshirt freshman.
So today we're going to kind of talk about, last time we kind of talked about going into spring ball and kind of like everything we've been doing with boot camp and phase 1, phase 2. Now we're into phase 3, which is spring ball. And we're kind of almost through our second week. First week of full pads this week. We've already been through 5 practices. We have our first scrimmage on Saturday. So kind of talk about how like those first 2 weeks have been. You know, like the first week we were in just helmets. Now we're getting into the pads. Yesterday's first day shoulder pads. So kind of like talk about how like what the transition's been, how it started so far, and like what we're kind of looking forward to going into the.
Honestly, I'm glad to be back.
Yeah.
It's been too long since I put the pads on and really got back into playing football. But yeah, no, just getting back into it and getting ready to go, you know. You're rearing up. This is what you look forward to. Granted,
No doubt.
spring ball, you're not really playing nobody, but you're playing against yourselves. But, like, just getting back in the pads, knowing that football season's right around the corner, it feels really good. So.
No doubt, no doubt.
I love this part of the year. I mean, it's just where you separate the men from the boys, you know. The pads are popping, you know, guys are excited. We have a lot of free time in the spring, so it's just all you're thinking about is just practice. Like, you just want to hit somebody. But like he said, we're not really playing against anyone else, so it's just against each other. So it's definitely like defining iron sharpens iron. So just making each other better every day. So
No doubt. And like especially this week with the pads popping, you know, we literally, I saw someone's paint fly off their helmet yesterday during what we call iron drill. I've never seen that before. Like someone's like actual. Like he has a white helmet on, their paint chipped. The helmet was black underneath it. Like I've never seen that before. Like that's how you know like we're actually getting after it. You know, I seen it and I was like, oh wow, like that was a hit. You know, so like that's the kind of stuff we're going through right now. You know, and like like you said, we wait for this moment all year. You know, like because you know you come right in, you're going straight into wage. No, not really anything football related. You're just trying to build that foundation. You know, then you start getting into a little bit of schematics from like the meeting rooms and the classrooms. Start going on the field and some walkthroughs. You might do some player-led stuff, but now we're deep into it. You know, like we're actually like getting into it. You know, this is the stuff that like you said we all love to do. This is why we came here. This is what we signed up for. All this practice and stuff. Like, and I know we're going against each other every single day, and it can get boring going against your own teammates every single day. Sometimes, you know, like I actually want to hit somebody. You know, like there's times where we're live stuff like that, but like you know, you actually want to hit somebody with a different colored jersey on. So, and that's something that you know that we're all looking forward to coming this fall. But like talking about from a standpoint, say like. Because this is my second spring ball I've had since I've been here, and I got here in 2019. So like in the fall of 2020, COVID happened. 2021 had the spring season. And last year was my first spring ball. So like I know this is probably your second spring ball too. Your second spring ball. Like how do you guys like? Do you guys think have improved compared to last year? Where do you guys see yourself compared to where you were last year during spring ball?
Well. Obviously, this year I'm healthy. I'm a lot more healthy than I was last year. Last year I had just came back from injury, so I kind of was like getting acclimated, like trying to work my way back into it. And now it's just I'm a lot more healthy. My strength is where I needed to be. I don't have any restrictions like I did last year. So I mean I do have restrictions, but as far as like last year, it's just being more cautious, but a lot more healthy.
For me, just from last year to this year, I think it's like there was really no expectation for me last year, you know. It's kind of like you had your expectations for yourself, but there was really no expectation for me to, like, go out and do the things I wanted to do. And I think this year, you know, just to getting a taste of what it's like to constantly build on top and, like, have a full year under my belt, I think it's a real, like, flowing, getting into like where I want to be and what I want to do, because heck, you only everyone's career is going to end one day. You know, make the most of what you got right now. But I think like a lot of it is just building on what you've done last year and just continuing to get better, because there's no cap to everyone can get better at something. Everyone can constantly build on top of what they're doing. Yeah. So I think a lot of it's just continuing to get better. So
exactly. And like for me, like I don't feel like I had a very good spring last year. You know, like I put a lot of pressure on myself to go out there and like exceed like expectations. You know, and last year I felt like I was too timid. You know, like just playing, like letting the pressure get to me. You know, but this year I've been trying to take that step and just like, man, pressure is a privilege. You know, like just being able to be where I'm at in this stage of my life, to be able to be out here and just have the pressure of going out here and like executing this plays. Like some people don't get to do that. You know, like they say only 2% of high school kids going to play D1 college football, and like we're a part of that 2%. You know, like that's a blessing for us to be able to do that. You know, like so that's kind of the mindset that I've taken in to this spring ball compared to last year. You know, like, oh, I got to go do this, got to go do this. Like just take it one rep, one throw, one play, one day at a time, and the results will follow that. You know, that's kind of something how like I've seen my play improve, you know, my mindset's improved just because of that, and I'm excited. Now I'm enjoying playing ball again, you know, because last year, like if I have a bad day, I come off the field, it kind of ruins my whole day, you know. So like I go home and just mope the rest of the day. So like just being able to do this, like I'm enjoying playing football again, you know. Yeah. So it's actually fun. I'm looking forward to practice every day. So like that's what I'm really excited about this year. And I feel like as a team, like we are, from an execution standpoint, like we talk about spring ball being about like going back to the fundamentals and going back to the basics, you know, like we're working technique, working schematics. Like from a team standpoint, compared to last year, where do you think you guys see us standing for, like if you were to compare this spring team to this spring team from last year? Like what is like some differences, some things you might see the same? Like what do you see from those type of standpoints?
I feel like the maturity level was a lot different last year. I feel like we had a lot more younger guys last year, so it took a lot more to get guys, you know, learn how to practice. You know, I mean, we got, you know, every now and then you have a guy, you know, maybe make a mistake, you know what I'm saying, and tackle somebody and we actually not tackling. But I feel like this year is like a more like mature level. Like we're on a more mature level than we were last year. I feel like we're like a slight step ahead than we were last year, as far as like guys buying in when they first get here. Like we got like we said last time, we got several guys that are early enrolled, just coming to a new home. They don't know what to expect. I feel like guys are buying in like now, like they're not waiting on it. So I feel like we're a slight step ahead than last year. So.
Yeah, no, I think like last year we had a lot of young guys step up in the bigger roles that like they may have not have expected to be in, or so I think like just building off last year, because like heck, you can only get better. You can't get worse. You can get worse, but that's what we're looking for. Like last year, that's not the expectation. We want to go out and win championships and do that. And we won an ASUN championship last year, but I don't think we're satisfied with that, because heck, it was a 3-way tie. You know, we want to win it outright. We want to make the playoffs. We don't want to make it close. So like I think just building like on top of last year. And I think we've gotten so much further along because we have a lot of guys returning that have done it before, and especially about like how to practice. I think like that's a big thing about it. It's just like we're not like going out there and trying to take someone's head off every play, you know, when it's a certain period, and when we're not doing that, you know, I think we've really learned how to practice, and we continue to get better like with every rep that we do, and continuing to build and continue to do stuff like that. So
exactly, you know, like we have guys who are like 2 or 3 years into the team now. Like they actually know the schematics, you know, as compared to last year. We still have some new guys in who are kind of, maybe it was their first year in the system, you know, like from an offensive standpoint. We have our receivers now are more mature, and they know the scheme now. This is their second, third time doing it. It's not like their first time that they've never done it before, you know, like from a defensive standpoint. You guys have sticking with Coach Clark, and he's doing a great job. And you guys have got some older guys come in, some guys that are they just work their tails off, you know. Like I feel like when you have that in the room, you know, like that's where things come together. And like working for team chemistry, you know, like this is where this is built in spring ball, and this is where games are won now in the fall. And they're not won on Saturdays. Like we talked about how like there starts with phase 1, you know, like getting stronger in the weight room. Just worry about that. Phase 2, going through something hard together, which was boot camp. Going through all that stuff where it's tough, you know, like nobody wants to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go run around campus and do flips and back rolls in the sand at 6 a.m. when it's raining and cold outside, you know. So like, and now we're in the spring ball where this is what people actually love to do. We're actually competing on the field of football. we're working on red zone stuff, working on third downs. So this is what we actually love to do. And from another standpoint from last year, it's also, I will say, it's nice to actually be on our field instead of being on the soccer field. Thank you. First off, thank you for the soccer coach for letting us use the soccer field while our field was getting worked on. But it is nice to actually be back on the turf for practice, and being able to be back out there and not have to worry about the lines, and with the lines are our GAs, our poor GAs have to be out there at 4 o'clock in the morning painting the field.
That's crazy.
I believe we had orange lines last year. We had a couple of days we had orange lines. I've never seen a football field with orange lines before. So that was kind of interesting, And a soccer field is a lot wider than a football field, So
so you gotta actually measure.
It's kind of hard to see that far sideline. Where an actual soccer field ends, So I feel like being back on an actual turf field right there in our home, right next to our locker room, is actually a lot better for us. And I actually love being on turf. And I love grass too. I love big grass guy. I know the NFL. Some players in the NFL are kind of leaning one way or the other between grass and turf. But for me, I if it's done the right way, I love grass. If it's playing at Nissan Stadium, their grass has always been good. NFL stadiums, if you had to pick, what do you think you'd prefer, turf or grass?
Growing up, it's always been grass. This is my since I got to Austin Peay, this is the first time I've actually played on a turf field. I played on it one other time, but this is the first time actually playing on a turf field. To do that. The only thing I don't like about a turf field is when it's summertime and it's 90 degrees outside and the turf's 120. That's probably the only thing I don't like about it. But no, I just heck, the turf don't matter. It really doesn't matter to me. Getting out there to go and play the game and dig your feet in the grass or the turf or the rubber pellets and stuff like that. Just getting ready to go out there and do that. I think that's what I look for. It doesn't matter, the playing surface.
Exactly.
I gotta hit on that. He said 120-degree weather, and the heat is crazy. I'm from Birmingham, so the humidity is insane. Yeah. So, but I didn't have a turf field in high school. So I played against Pinson Valley on a turf field, or they had a turf field that year. But it's crazy how, the schools you come from, they get bigger, they get stuff when you leave.
Yeah. We
literally, after our season was over, 2 or 3 months later, they had done a turf field for us.
Oh.
The stadium is amazing. I was so upset about it. Because we had been asking for it after, sophomore year. We were hey, we want a turf field,
Yeah.
And they didn't do it till after we left. We was bummed about that. But
playing in high school, I always played on a grass field. I was always grass as well.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about my high school field was we were the Clarksville Academy Cougars. So my school was literally right across the street. But our field was 2 or 3 miles down the road, down closer to the river. Yeah. And our field did not hold water well at all. So anytime it rained, it would flood. And the reason, I don't know why, we were the Cougars, so they called it Simpson Field, but they also called it the Swamp. We're the Cougars and we're the Swamp, I get both sides of it, but it just doesn't go well together, I get people are are you the Cougars? You come down to the Swamp. Well, why are y'all the Swamp? And we'll come see our field and you'll know why. It was bad. So hopefully I don't think any field here in Clarksville, from a high school standpoint, have turf right now. But I know they're trying to get that in the works here pretty soon. So, but from what I like the most, turf, you don't have to worry about soaking wet fields and mud and all that. Yeah, so that's from a good standpoint. When it's pouring down, raining all day, in high school, you're worried about your game getting canceled because your field's flooded. You can't play with turf. You don't really have to worry about that. It just soaks it all up, and you can just say, as long as there's no lightning, we're going. So that's one thing. But grass, it is nice to mix it up. Easier on the knees with grass field sometimes, because that turf does wear those joints out every now and then. And I know that's kind of what those NFL players are kind of worried about with the injuries, whether it be ACL. I know we had some guys that had some ACL injuries last year on our turf field, and I think that you hate to see it. But
it comes with playing, though.
Yeah, it's part of the game.
That's the thing. You're signing up for it. Yes, turf fields, it happens more often, but you're signing up to play that game, and I think with the NFL guys' perspective, me personally, it doesn't matter, but I know a lot of guys that would rather play on grass. It gives easier. You don't have to worry about getting your foot caught and rolling your ankle or doing major injuries like that. So I think I definitely know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and there's some of those teams that have the domes. but their field, I think it was the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals and the Raiders have it, where they have actual grass, but it's in the dome.
Yeah.
Like they had their field slot rolls out, and they can they have actual grass that they work on outside the stadium, like real grass that they water and the sunlight hits it. But when it's time for game day, they just click a button and the whole field just rolls into the dome, like that.
Wow.
I
didn't know that.
Yeah, that is
I did not know that.
Yeah, that is a crazy aspect of where we're at in our days of football nowadays. So I don't think we won't get there here in college, but it's still nice to see how how much that plays a role into what those players like and what the team likes. When it goes to injuries, do all that work just to have the grass field just roll in on game day. That's kind of neat to see. And they did that for the Super Bowl this year. I believe Super Bowl was in Arizona. I believe this year, right? There was a big talk about how the turf was the grass was too slippery, stuff like that, because they said that grass has been growing for a long time.
Yeah.
So they talked about how the grass is too slippery and stuff like that. But I'm glad we have turf, at Austin Peay. There's no way, you ain't really got to worry about nothing. It was easy. We recently just got new turf with the new logo, and the new logo looks really good. But I heard there was a rumor that, and it's just a rumor that Coach Walden, he wanted to stretch that logo from end zone to end zone.
Oh.
Hey, Coach Walden said he's bigger, go big or go home. So that would have been definitely probably one of the best, most intriguing looking fields in all of college football if he decided if he wanted to do that. But I feel like we have one of the best looking fields in college football. We got the Tennessee logo on it, and I think it looks really good. So
I get lost on that field, with the logo. I think, I'm at the 50. No, you're at the 40. I get lost on that field. So I'm kind of glad he didn't do that.
Yeah.
I'd be real confused.
Hopefully that happens to the guys that come in there.
I think that's what it does. I'm used to it now, but
yeah, we used to it. That's why we practice on it. So.
For sure, going back, I'm glad we're having spring ball in our field this year. Our spring game, I believe, is on April 15th. April 15th, at 9:30 in the morning. So, and I believe it's open to the public and for families and friends. So if anybody wants to come out, come support the Govs, watch us on April 15th at 9:30 at Fortera Stadium. We'd love to have you out. We'll have our new, I believe, don't quote me on this, we might have our new Jumbotron in by the time.
Should be.
We'll have our new Jumbotron in by the time. It should be the biggest Jumbotron in the ASUN.
ASUN and WAC.
ASUN and the WAC. So we're making moves, and we're excited to be a part of that, and we're excited to see what it's going to look like on game day. So if you're not busy on April 15th at 9:30 in the morning it's on a Saturday. Nobody's really working on a Saturday. So come out and support the Govs. Come watch us scrimmage. It'll be a black and red game. It's cool because I believe it's our AD Joel Harrison and President Mike Licari. They draft teams.
Yes.
They come in there with Coach Walden and they draft their own players and they play against each other. We did that last year, and that was really fun to see. I was on team.
Shout out to Team Red.
Yeah, I was on Team Red last year.
Were
you on our Team Red?
Yeah,
Team Red. Yeah. Looking at
Athletic
Director Gerald Harrison, grittying across the field after we hit that game-winning field goal. Gatorade dumped on him. Yeah, because you don't see that very often in other schools. Their athletic director and president come out and draft football teams. They have their schedule's already busy enough as it is. And to be able to come out there and show support for their own team. And take time out of their day on a Saturday to come out there and spend 3 or 4 hours with us. On the field, just. Supposedly calling plays and making game time decisions, but I think that's really cool for them to come out and just show how much they're behind us and
they pour a lot into us, man.
Yeah.
Support staff from equipment room to all the way up to Dr. Michael Licari. It's crazy. Our support staff is amazing. Shout out to the equipment team, to our strength staff. Coach Campbell and the staff, Abe, Spencer, Landon Plank, Mike, Miss Lauren.
A lot of people,
They pour a lot into
They pour a lot of stuff. We don't take y'all for granted. Just know that. We appreciate you guys.
A lot of people. We think that we're up here a lot of hours, but they're actually, behind the scenes. Our strength staffs is getting there an hour and a half before we are, just setting up the weight room. We think that we have to get up early every single day. Those guys are up at it early, just setting the stuff up for us so that we have the proper equipment. Everything's properly set up. They could just go out there and set it up. You guys get it. But that thing is every morning. It's neatly organized, set up for us. We just come walk right in and we just get right to it. I feel like sometimes that we can take that for granted sometimes, you know. Like, so it's nice to be able to give back to them and like make sure that they know that we appreciate them, you know, and especially our equipment staff, you know. Shout out Chris Anon, former Gov, best equipment manager in the nation, best equipment manager in the nation. You know, him and his staff, they do an amazing job making sure that we're all supplied with what we need: clothes, cleats, helmet, shoulder pads. Yeah, everything, you know. Exactly. You know, they make sure that we're looking good, you know, all the time. So they really do a good job, and we're really appreciative to have them in our building, you know. So
and like they're President Licari and Gerald Harrison, they're pouring it into us. They're getting fundraisers, they're getting stuff pouring into our program and like making it better. Like, heck, we just got a new $2 million locker room. Got heck, we were in the Dunn for a couple months, and then we walk in, big old locker room. It's like, whoa, like new turf field, like the Manyards, like they're pouring tons of money into us as well. Like we're extremely blessed to be in Clarksville at Austin Peay and having the people that care enough about us. Like, heck, they didn't know us when we were in high school and stuff like that. Like, they just met us when we got to Austin Peay. Like, they're pouring all this money into us for us to be successful and put a great product on the field. So,
exactly. Yeah. Talking about, that was an experience, wasn't it, the Dunn, you know, dressing in the Dunn locker room, you know, while we were getting our locker room done, so this is in the middle of fall camp, you know, it's like, we're up and at it early every single day, you know, we're fall camp for like, 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, and like, it's all day, you know, from 7:30 in the morning, 9:30 at night, you got to show up you walk into the Dunn, and it's not a close walk from the Dunn to Fortera Stadium, you know, you got to change in the Dunn, and you got that long walk in that early morning heat.
Across that parking lot.
Across that blacktop, you know. I think it was worse after practice. Practice, you know, like you just got out of the cold tub and you're on the field, you know, you're barefoot, and like you walk out of Fortera Stadium, you just see the parking lot. You know, you see the heat waves coming up off the pavement, and you say, man, I got to walk all the way up to the Dunn Center and get changed. You know, so that was definitely an experience for us, and now that we're showing how much grateful we are to have our $2 million locker room, you know, that we'll be able to use and take care of every day. So it's important for us to be able to take care of that, and I feel like we do a pretty good job of doing that. So, but yeah, I mean, we're glad to be at Austin Peay, and we're got some stuff in the works, and we're on the rise, you know, and we're thankful for all the people that have been pouring into us and help us get to where we are now, and now it's our job to go out there and help put wins in the column for the school, you know, and put a good product on the field, you know, whether it's not only just wins, but show them how we've developed as, you know, men, you know, like being good characters of men, you know, for our Code Red and what Coach Walden preaches all the time. So I feel like now it's up to us to be able to go do that, and I feel like so far this year we're taking the steps to do that. So I'm excited about what the season has to have.
Just putting a good product on the field. Like Austin Peay's football record had back in the day, you know, a lot of y'all know, like, it wasn't the best. It had some offers in there, like we're trying to turn it around and compete for national championships every year. Like, that's what we're trying to do. That's the goal. Like, that's what we're all here for. We're all here to put a good product on the field, as well as, like, bring a trophy home and make Clarksville proud. Like, that's the thing. And, like, we're all coming together from different places around the country and, like, trying to bring something home to Clarksville. So I think, like, just all that, like, that's what you want. You're here to win championships, and no one's bigger than the team, and you want to go out there and you just want to put a good product and make everyone happy, make the city proud that you're representing and playing for. So
I'll tell you one thing that I miss, and I can't wait to get back to, is those pregame meals.
Oh, those are the best.
I can't wait to get back to the pregame meals on Friday nights, man. Yeah. Those pregame meals are something you
look forward to.
Those you know, they got that 6-hour bus ride. You can't wait to get off the bus and go up to that buffet. You know, so like if you had to pick, like, what's your out of the buffet, what's your like go-to, like what do you get on that plate? You know, like I know we have a couple things that we normally see every Friday night. So like you're going up to the buffet, what's your go-to that you got to have? Like, I know, are you like superstitious, you got to eat this and this for the game, or like what's your like go-to meal?
When it comes to eating, I'm not like really superstitious. That's probably why I'll play offensive line, but no, I definitely I gotta get like green beans. Those are usually there. Gotta get a steak. I look forward to that. I'm on the bus just thinking about like gotta get a steak. Like they make sure we're good to go and whatever we want, and then you know they got the ice cream afterwards. You know. Gotta hit the ice cream bar and stuff like that. But I honestly, what I look forward to the most is just like, I'm so thankful for them like bringing in that food. But it's got to be like the steak and the green beans and the mashed potatoes and all that. So.
No doubt.
You have my mouth watering right now. Like, all I do is I get one plate, I get a whole bunch of pasta, and I get like 3 pieces of chicken, and I pour Alfredo on it. And I get another plate, and I get vegetables and bread and all that. I may get a steak too. So, but that one plate, I have to get pasta. I have to get Alfredo, chicken Alfredo. I have to.
Yep, I feel it, you know, like it's kind of hard to pick. You know, you get up there, you're like, man,
there's so much food.
You know, like you gotta get ready to go to meetings after. You know, get a couple of meetings with your coaches after, and you're like, man, I just want to think about this food right now, man. I'm like, so I get up there and I'm like, man, I don't know what to pick. You know, like, I'm trying. Like, part of me wants that ice cream right now, but I need to eat this too. You know, like so I'll grab, like you said, I'm a big Alfredo guy, chicken Alfredo. Grab chicken Alfredo. I'll get if they got the steak's good. Get the steak and mashed potatoes. You know, mashed potatoes, mix it all up, man. So it's good. You know, love the ice cream after. You know, sometimes I'm so full in our after the meetings, you know, it's like I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I'm ready to go to bed now.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm ready to go to bed.
Start yawning in the meetings.
Exactly, and you know it's fun because you get to sit there and you get to fellowship with your teammates. You know, right before you go into a game, you know, you get to sit there. You know, that's not all serious talk. You know, like pregame, like the night before. You know, you kind of sit there, you're cutting it up. You're watching your high school team play, you're watching something else. But those are the nights that like. We call them like the best Fridays in football. You know, so like they're the best Fridays in football. You get to go fellowship with your teammates, hang out, you know, just be loose. You know, like just get ready to go put the products in the field you prepared for all week. You know, so
Gov
like,
games too.
Gov games.
Big cornhole guy right here.
Yeah, big cornhole guy.
Big cornhole guy.
Spades guy.
Spades. Like play the spades.
Spades guy.
Yeah, but you win most of the time. Or?
Come on. Shout out to Joe Ware. That was my partner. Anybody want to play against us, we're ready. Anytime.
Hey, same way in cornhole. Bring it home.
Anytime, anytime.
Yeah, cornhole. Yeah, I actually play a little bit of cornhole. I need to come play spades with you guys. But normally on Friday night, I'm walking around. I'll probably get rolled out with our trainers. Our trainers are out there. I'll hit the Thera boots. I love that. I might be doing homework. I don't know. I don't like to be doing homework on a Friday night, but most of the time I'll have my computer trying to knock some stuff out if I have time. But yeah, those are definitely what I'm looking forward to. I miss to the most. You know, those Friday nights in football. You know, getting ready to then waking up Saturday morning is go time. You know, like. That pregame was a little bit different than the night before. You know, like you're just more like you
more died down
in and you know you're ready to go. You know, so like, those are definitely then you got the Saturdays. You know, I was thinking about it. I was telling I think it was Michael Treadwell last night. It was like it's crazy like how many times you practice a year for only 12 guaranteed games. You know, like how much time is put into this all year round for only 12 Saturdays. You're only guaranteed 12 of them, and like you're practicing over at least 200 days a year for 12 days, you know. It's crazy how, all in reality, it works out like that.
Triple-digit practices, too. Yeah. You're constantly going, so, but yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see what we're going to put out there this year in the fall and, you know, kind of transitioning over now maybe to now there's no more football on TV no more. Like, we're kind of into the off-season part of the NFL. You know, there's a lot of things going on in the NFL right now, like Aaron Rodgers, is he going to the Jets? Is he not? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I thought the trade was done already. Apparently, it's not. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like now, apparently he had a list of people he wanted to bring with him. You know, like Odell, Lazard, and who knows? Who knows what Aaron Rodgers is up to right now? You know, so like me, I'm a Titans fan. Been a Titans fan ever since I was little. So we haven't done a whole lot in this offseason so far. So I'm kind of hoping there's been talks of Lamar Jackson. There's been talks. I'm just saying there's been talks.
I don't know about that.
And I don't know if that'll be good or bad for us, but you know, I mean, I'm okay with Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill, you know, he's been our guy for a while now, and he's done the most winning quarterback, one of the top 3 winning quarterback in the NFL since he took over for us. You know, with him, Patty Mahomes. So, but talk about big Steelers fan. You know?
Yeah. No, they're just building up the O-line right now. Heck, they need it, but yeah, no, I'm just looking forward to it. Year 2 of Kenny Pickett, so we'll see how that goes. Heck, he showed me down the line what he could do. So let's hopefully he can build off of that and just rebuild the defense. Hopefully TJ Watt's healthy the whole year this year. So
That man's a monster.
yeah, so.
And then you big NFL guy or?
I'm not a big fan guy. Like growing up, I loved Ray Lewis, so it kind of made me a Ravens fan a little bit. But I was like big on Ray Lewis. But when he retired, I kind of found Bobby Wagner at the Seahawks, so it's kind of like I'm a Seahawks fan. So I've been a Seahawks fan for like a good amount of years now. So
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like I'm a Titans fan, but I like watching guys that you try to mimic a game after. Like one guy for me that I like to watch a lot is Baker Mayfield. I started following him when he's at Oklahoma. He's two-time walk-on, walked on Texas Tech, State of the Year. He walked on to Oklahoma and then won the Heisman. Like having that underdog mentality is something that I've tried to embody in the way that I carry myself and play the game. Like just following him now. He's just signed with Tampa.
Yeah.
So the whole crazy offseason in the NFL right now is going wild right now. So and I've been watching a little bit of the XFL, trying to watch a little bit of the XFL. Their schedule's a little different than with the NFL. It's not like it's every Sunday, so it's a little different. But I've been trying to watch it. Have you had a chance to watch any of it yet, or?
I really haven't. I've been busy myself. I usually don't really watch TV, even in the off season. It's just Netflix and HBO Max and stuff like that. But no, I really haven't been keeping up with it. I've seen some highlights of it.
Yep.
Like it looks, especially their new kickoff format. Like
Oh yeah,
that looks interesting. Like
it's
if they implement that in college and the NFL, that'd be interesting to see. A lot more kick returns maybe for Cam Thomas. But,
that's for real.
I don't know. It'd be interesting though.
It's wild because I believe they put the kickoff team on the 20-yard line, and
Yeah.
then the return team on the 10 maybe like that. So it's not as
And they can't move until
until
catches
the
it.
kicker catches the ball. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
until he
it's
catches
definitely
it.
safer.
Yeah.
Definitely safer. Maybe that's what they're trying to implement, and it's cool being able to hear the coaches call the plays into the quarterback's headset. You can hear that on TV. You can hear what they're saying to their quarterback. You can hear the quarterback talking in the huddle. Sometimes it's not always, PG stuff. It's always hey, you better get set. Stuff like this.
Yeah.
And you can hear the coaches maybe dropping a couple words in there too, and his coach's heads in the quarterback's headset.
Yeah.
So I've always wanted to be able to kind of experience that. We don't do, not really allowed to do that in college. Be able to.
Gotta go to the sideline.
I can't even imagine if I had Coach Walden in my ear or play. It'd be an experience. I would really like to. I would like to try it out. See what he had to say before a play. Because his mind's always racing and he's got a lot of energy to get out. So we'll see. Have you had a chance to watch any of the XFL at all, or?
no, I haven't. I watched the IFL. Cordell Jackson.
Yeah.
He just signed to a team. They won the first game, so
I saw he had a pick six.
he had a
pick
he had a
six.
heck of a game, and that was fun to watch. Seeing
You
him,
watched
man.
the whole game?
I watched a good amount, like 90% of the game, but it was really good. It was fun to watch.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean it's it's different. Watching that kind of football. What? So what is it? What is it? You said IFL,
Yeah,
the
indoor
football league. Yeah. So
yeah.
you got the
Yeah, I
what do you
can't
call
explain
it? The
it.
rink, or I don't want to call it the
like
rink.
rink,
It looks like a
Yeah.
hockey rink kind of.
Yeah.
But it's definitely but being able to carry your career on to the next level at any stage
it's
is
amazing.
it's
Bro.
it's an awesome deal to
It's a
do that.
blessing. Yeah.
But I definitely miss watching football. I know we're playing football, but I definitely come home and there's not really nothing to watch. I'm a little kind of basketball guy. I watch a little basketball every now and then. Not a big March Madness guy though. Not a big March Madness guy.
I kind of just one year I kind of just filled out a bracket. I don't really pay too close attention. I don't pay too close attention to it, but I just fill out like a paper bracket or whatever. It's just like, oh, let's see what I do.
Yeah, maybe I'll get lucky.
I kind of like the upsets.
Yeah.
Like that's what you look forward to. You're always rooting for the underdog,
Yeah, for sure.
Heck, like what was it this year? Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yep.
Like I was rooting for them to beat FAU. Like I was like, let's go, come on. I'm sitting on the couch. I'm like, I haven't watched basketball all year. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't even know where this team's at, but we're watching them.
Yeah, Furman had a big upset, I believe. Furman had a big
yeah,
upset.
man,
Yeah,
that
but we're
was-
definitely ready for football to be back on TV. Whether it be
yeah.
college football, NFL, and something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of the the NFL has some big games this year too. And they ended kind of weird, kind of crazy. Some of those
Yeah.
like whether it be like a trick play or something.
Raiders, Patriots.
Yeah. Those little kind of talk to kind of like what you saw on that. Like that was just a wild game.
Yeah.
Last play of the game. I believe the game was tied.
Yeah,
right?
it
Correct.
was.
Like they can go into overtime.
Yeah.
And play that way, but they're trying to like, make some crazy last second prayer, and they, I believe they throw it up and big D lineman picks it off and takes it to the house, so like, and the game's over.
Yeah.
So that's just a wild like trick play, like so kind of like. I know that we kind of have some trick plays too over here at Austin Peay, So like, what's like whether it be like maybe all the way back to junior pro, or that's what we used to call it, junior pro, like back when we were 5 and 6, like what's like maybe the craziest like trick play that you ever ran, maybe seen, like what's something that like kind of like just like, oh wow, I did not know that they were getting ready to do that, or I didn't know that we could do that, like.
I think I'd probably say the Super Bowl with the Eagles and the Patriots.
Okay.
The Philly special.
Oh.
That threw me off guard because I think it was 4th down or something.
It might have been. Oh,
and like it was like 4th down or something like that, and they were just like, all right, let's run it. And then it's crazy because you go back and watch like the NFL film stuff, and then you see Doug Peterson talking to Nick Foles, and like, oh, you want to run it? Let's go. Yeah. And like that's just split-second decisions, in the biggest game of the year, for everything, for all the marbles. I think that was the gutsiest one I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I thought, like, cause I'm just sitting there watching TV. Okay, they'll probably run it here, maybe throw it, Alshon Jeffrey or something, and they just Nick Foles starts walking up the line. They hike the ball. I'm like, my first reaction was like, oh, Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl. Like they didn't know the quarterback was back there stabbing over his head. Yeah. But no, that was a crazy trick play. So
yeah, and it wasn't even like it was that crazy of a play. Like it's just like you said, like. This is the biggest game of the year on the biggest play of the game. It's 4th and goal from the 2-yard line, and you're going to call a trick play, like you're going to put the ball in the hands of one of your receivers. He's going to throw it to your quarterback who doesn't normally catch the ball. Like that's just that blew my mind too. Just sitting there watching. I was pulling for Tom Brady at the time. Seeing that, I was like, wow. I mean, that was gutsy, to be able to do that. Yeah. So like anything that kind of sticks out to you, maybe you've seen that you did or have been a part of, or.
I haven't really been a part of one, but like you go to YouTube, you see the ones through the decades, like it's one crazy. All 11 lined up in one line.
Yeah.
They lined up and snapped. Man, that's crazy, bro. Like I never witnessed one. I'm always paranoid of a trick play, so I never had it ran on me. So it's just. I seen it on YouTube, but
he's a defensive guy. He doesn't like trick plays.
I don't like trick plays.
He didn't like trick plays.
He don't like trick plays. Yeah.
I'll be calling it out before the play.
Oh, yeah.
Trick play. Yeah. Hand off. Oh, never mind.
There was one that kind of stuck out in my mind. It didn't really work, but I believe it was the Cowboys this past year.
Oh.
They were playing the 49ers.
Yep.
Last play of the game, Ezekiel Elliott lined up at center. Last play of the game, and he snapped it, and he just got absolutely ran over. And like the play got like 2 yards on the last play of the game, and it didn't work. So I'm just like, oh wow, like, and poor Zeke, that's his last play as a Cowboy,
Yeah,
he snapped
you
the
think
ball.
about it, it's crazy.
Zeke catch that one.
Yeah, like he went lined up at center and snapped the ball to. I don't know what his role was in the play. Like you never saw it because he just got ran over as soon as he snapped the ball. It was a good snap, shotgun, good snap. But I mean, we were all just like, is that the running back lined up at center? Like,
it looked like a flag football game.
Yeah, like
he's about to go out on a route or something.
Yeah, like it looked like the yard in Madden. You play Madden, you got the yard. The center can run routes and stuff like that. That's what it looked like. But as soon as he snapped it, he got ran over and dude just laid on him. Yeah. And the play got 2 yards. But so that was wild. And there was one that I've kind of been a part of, and it almost worked out when we were playing Tennessee Tech. And last play, second to last play of the game.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and so I drop back, throw it to our receiver. He catches it, pitches it to our running back.
Yep.
Coming up the sideline. Yeah. But while all that's happening, me and the linemen are kind of like falling out to the right a little bit, scooting out, trying to slip under the rug, not trying to see nobody. And like he's putting and they throw it back across the field. And look, I mean, we didn't get to that point. I know, one block. It was wild. Like if we would have. Actually, we probably would have been on SportsCenter and won the game. So it was wild. But trick plays are always fun. They're always fun, and we hit a couple last year. We hit one against I believe it was WKU in the first game of the year. We hit one. Trey Goodman hit James Burns on a double pass.
Yep.
That was good. They're always fun, especially like when they're coming.
Yeah.
Like you're on the sideline, oh my God, we're running trick play right here. Like you know it's coming, but the defense don't know it's coming. You know, like it's no fun when the defense calls it out. And then watch the double pass. You know, like, but like they're always fun to watch, and you know they're really fun to be a part of. You know,
especially as an O lineman, like you're sitting there in the stands, like, okay, we're calling this. All right, let's do it. And heck, that was WKU was my first collegigiate like start, so I'm like, okay, let's see how this goes. Get down my stance, make sure my guy don't make the play. When you see a bomb down there, oh, you're looking at it.
we need to get a couple like those offensive lineman passes in there. You know, like roll to the right,
I went pulling guard, pitch it, I don't know.
Yeah. You telling you gonna throw it?
Nah,
I'll pull around them. I don't know.
You ever seen the Taylor Lewan against the Colts where he caught the touchdown against the Colts? Yeah, he kind of just block, snuck out, and he caught the touchdown against the Colts. You know, like it's crazy. You know how like you see a lot more. You kind of see a lot more in the NFL nowadays than you normally used to. You know, like offenses are getting more creative. And
heck, I remember back when J.J. Watt caught like 5 touchdowns.
Yeah,
had like 5 touchdowns in a year. He was throwing it to him.
That's a big human being.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
He's catching touchdowns, and he's a defensive tackle. You know, defensive end. You know, so you don't really see that nowadays. But it is fun. You know, like kind of help, like especially when teams are kind of in a lull. You know, they're kind of like in a little kind of a like stunt. They can't really get anything going. It can help spark a team. You know, like get something going. You know, like you're running games not working, you're not getting any passes going. Let's try this. You know, they may not be expecting it. You know, so it's kind of fun being able to see that, and it makes keeps the game fun too. You know, like especially when you're at practice, you're like kind of drawing it up. You like, especially in practice, you know, you got guys trying to figure out who's going to throw the ball, personnel-wise, like who's going to throw it, who's going to catch it, are we blocking this up right? So, I mean, we almost had one against Bama. Like if we had, they
scores.
It would have scored. You know, like that would have been a fun way to score on Bama. He didn't even know it was coming. You know, he probably didn't even know it was coming. You know, it was wide open. They bid on it. You know, but knowing Bama, you know, like those guys are really fast. You know, those guys like triggered hard, and it was hard for our receiver to get the pass off. You know, he had guys in his face, but like
I was out there on the field, and the first thing I looked at, I saw it drop incomplete, but I looked over. Saban was right over here. I was like, he was freaking out. He's throwing his stuff. What are we doing?
Yeah,
freaking out. I'm like, I'm laughing. I'm like, this is fun. I'm like,
you have to having a good time, man. That's all it's about, man. It's going out there and just having fun, man. You know, like it's a kid's game. That's something that, like I said, like we all kind of forget sometimes. You know, like we have so much pressure on ourselves. Like it's a game. You know, like we go out there. Yeah, like now there's more stuff that goes into it now, like scholarships and money. There's money being brought into it. You know, like people do this for a living now. But like at the end of the day, you know, like it's what you start doing when you're 5 years old. You know, you go out in the backyard, you start playing with your friends. You know, like you play the video game. You know, it's a fun game. It's just fun. You know, like I feel like a lot of athletes lose sight of that sometimes. You know, so I mean, I know I do a lot. You know, I try to take it too seriously. You know, that's like kind of like we talked about in the beginning of the show is like what's your mindset? Like where do you see yourself? Like I feel like last year in spring ball I took it too seriously. You know, like I mean there's a fine line. You know, like where you got to be serious about it, but also you got to be like, you know what? I'm just gonna come out here and just be loose, cut loose, and just have fun. You know, like whatever happens. Like as long as you're giving your all, and as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters. You know.
Yeah, and I think the teammates are like a big help with that. Like you're out there doing it with them, you know, and like you're just trying to have fun. You're playing a child's game. Yeah. That's how I think of it sometimes. And yeah, like you can get caught up, and you're like, oh, like it's kind of like a job. Yeah. College sports is a job. Yep. Let's put it that way. Like you have meetings, you got practice time, you got like, you gotta get it. Like it's a job, and I think. Like, you gotta treat it as a job in some ways, in some aspects. Yep. But like, you gotta have fun with it. If you're not having fun, there's no reason to play it. Like, seriously, like there's no reason to play it.
Man. Just like a job. Yeah. A lot of people get jobs, you know, because for the money, but that's gonna run out. Those are feelings, you know. Yeah. That's gonna run out. But if you do something that you enjoy doing. And you get to get paid for it. That's just a byproduct. The payments are just byproducts. So, because you enjoy doing it every day. So.
Yep, exactly. You know, and I feel like coaches nowadays are doing a good job to make sure that we understand that. You know, I know Coach Walt does a good job of doing that. You know, like for us, before we come in and meet every single day, we have our meetings and we'll watch film. But before we do that, we sit there and we just like talk for like 30 minutes. Like we're already in there for 30 minutes and we're just talking, you know, making jokes about stuff that would either happen to us throughout the day or like maybe something that happened to us like last night or over the weekend. But we also play stickman before every meeting, and he is losing. Like this started like last fall camp, and like we were killing him in fall camp, stick man. You know, he'd get mad, come up with a word, and we're all guessing. We win, we get it. We have a little tally on the whiteboard, and he you know, Coach Walden's so competitive. You know, he's like, all right, we're carrying it over from fall camp. We're like, we won. You know, he's but like over the past couple of days, we're up like I believe like 20-12 or something like that. So like we're up pretty big on them right now. But I feel like, you know, the coaches play a big role in that too. You know, like, because they can come in like, they can be strict and like, no joking around. We got to watch this film. We got to get these corrections made. You know, but at the same time, you know, you kind of got to take a step back every now and then. Like, just remind yourself, you know, like when we're also 20 to 22-year-old kids. You know, like we're also like, we're not fully grown adults. You know, we're still in college. You know, like we still have that young energy side of us, and we have that kid side still in us. You know, like we're still playing a game that we love, and then we want to play it for as long as we can. You know, like you said, it's going to end one day, but while we're here, you know, we want to be able to make those memories and be able to do that with our teammates while we can. You know, and I'm glad to like our coaches do a good job of that. So
that's the beauty of it, though, man. Like knowing that one day it's going to end, so that just makes you just embrace like every opportunity more. Like just I don't know, just enjoy it more. Because if you don't enjoy it more, it goes by just like that. Like, this is going my fourth year.
Yeah.
Like, it don't even feel like it.
Yeah, I feel like that's the other aspect of it. It's where we're talking about cutting loose. The other aspect of it is like you only get so many opportunities. You know, like there's times you got to lock in. You know, like there's times you kind of like grow out of that shell, that kid, and you got to be like, hey, become that leader. And like take advantage of what you got in front of you. You got to hold other guys accountable, you know, because at the end of the day, we're having fun and playing, and that's good. But we also want to win a championship too, you know. Exactly. So I feel like there's a fine line between where it's time to cut up and have fun, and then there's a time, you know what, like this ain't the time to do that right now. You know, we got to put our head down. We got to work. We got to be on time. We got to meet the right way. Like we laugh. Like I said, we cut up, we laugh the first 15 minutes meet. Now it's time to lock in and meet. Like we say, like meet like a pro. You know, so it's come in there, watch the film, take the coaching, and be able to apply it on the field the next day. Because at the end of the day, we want to win. Nobody comes to play football just to lose, you know, like that. Nobody wants to come to play just to lose and just be out there just to be out there, you know. So I feel like you say, you know, you only get so many opportunities, and there's a fine line of being able to go out here and cut up, you know, like, yeah, okay, we cut up for a little bit, now it's time to, you know, focus and lock in, you know, so.
Yeah, no, definitely, I think, like, you got to have your time to joke around, have fun, do your thing, because you're in college. You're going to do that. But, like, and another aspect is, like, these are these coaches' livelihoods. Like, you got to go out and win games. You got to put it in that perspective, too. And, like, you got to lock in, and you're doing it for them. You're doing it for the guy next to you. Like, you got to lock in and take it seriously because, like, yes, that's where I came in with saying it's, like, kind of like a job. You got to treat – at some points you got to treat it like a job. And, like, you got to lock in. But, like, yes, you always want to have fun. You're gonna have these relationships with your teammates for years. Some of them are gonna be in your wedding and stuff like that. So, like, you got to have fun and you got to balance it. I think that's a big thing.
Yeah, that's what I feel like in fall camp. You know, we go do those fun events. Because fall camp's a brutal time. You know, like your fall camp's like it's like the hardest thing. Fall camp's harder than the season. Yeah. It's like you're in there, like coaches be like, oh, we're gonna go to the city forum this day. You know, like you gotta break it up. You know, like because. If you're just pound, football, you know, like kids start to lose the love for the game, you know.
Yeah, it gets monotonous, like really fast, actually. Really fast.
You got to be able to, like you said, don't grow weary in doing good, you know, like, and like be able to do the same thing over and over again, you know, because you love doing it, you know. Like at the same time, you know, like that also like wears on you, you know. And so that's why I feel like our coaches do a good job of breaking it up and making sure that we're not serious all the time. You know, like we're cutting it up, we're playing. You know, like because we don't treat it like you said, like it's a job. You know, but we're a family. You know, like we're gonna interact with one another and make sure that because at the end, like you said, at the end of the day, football's gonna end one day. Yeah. You know, like I feel like at the end of the day, maybe 40 years from now, not a whole lot of people are gonna be talking about how many touchdowns you score, not how many tackles, blocks, points you put on the board. Like they might be, you know, if you do something like you break some records, like getting a record, but stuff like that. But like at the end of the day, you're gonna be talking about those memories, man, where you had fun on the field and you know like what you did like off the field, like, all the times you cut up for your teammates, like. Yeah. So that's kind of like a big aspect for me, you know. It's like because I'm the first guy to be able to go cut up with you, you know. I'll get in there and cut up, whether it be in the weight room, in the locker room, meeting room, but like also I know there's a time to where you got to get serious, you know, and you got to get to work, you know. So.
But that just goes back to Code Red, like commitment. how you talked about how everything get monotonous. Like commitment to me is just nothing but like doing something no matter how you feel about it. Like if I say I'm committed to doing something, like it's not gonna change because of how I feel. Like, because one day we're gonna wake up and we just may feel like the day is just not going our way. Like we can't do anything right. But at the end of the day, like you said, sometimes you gotta treat it like a job. You still have a job to do at the end of the day. So that it just goes back to Code Red for me. Code Red is, how do y'all feel? Like we don't talk about Code Red much, but like what do you think is in Code Red? Which word do you believe is the biggest thing you need to work on in your life, personally? It don't have to be with football. Like personally, what do you guys think?
So for some people that don't know, like we have our Code Red. You know, the words are commitment, relentlessness, unselfishness, toughness, and integrity. Those are the words that like we live by as a program. You know, and I feel like for me, out of commitment, relentlessness, unselfishness, toughness, and integrity, you know, like maybe from a point, maybe I gotta work on being unselfish sometimes. Like maybe I can like, I feel like I do this sometimes, but like kind of like maybe staying after, like making sure guys are being brought along with me. You know, like making sure like guys aren't being left behind. You know, like we have a new quarterback in our room right now, and like he doesn't really know what to do right now. You know, like he doesn't really know how the whole system works, how the process works, and like I can be unselfish. And maybe if I need to stay after a couple more minutes, like 15, 20 minutes, and help him out, it could definitely help him out, you know, and help bring him along, you know, because we're only as strong as our weakest link. So like if he doesn't know what he's doing, and so like if he gets thrown in the fire, it's not going to help our team, you know. At the end of the day, like yeah, we want to be on the you want to be on the field, but like at the end of the day, if you're not out there, and the person in front of you doesn't know what to do, like then the whole team's going to suffer. I know, especially from an offensive standpoint, from an execution standpoint, you know. And so I feel like that's something I really want to try to work on, is being unselfish, you know, with whether it's my brothers on the field or off the field. So
That's good.
No, I definitely agree. Like I was gonna say that as well. like unselfishness. Like you have new guys coming in, and you gotta like, you can't just turn a shoulder to them and be like, you know, good luck. Like it can't be like that. Like we have a Leo Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Dude graduated early in December. He should be at prom right now. Dude's out here playing spring ball with us. Like, you got to be able to help that guy along. And, like, heck, he's not going to know everything. He's not going to know all the plays. But, like, if he asks you a question, like, heck, I'll be sitting down there. I play a little bit of center, too. I'm not just a guard. But I get down there center, like, he'll ask me, like, okay, what technique am I using here? Like, we'll be mid-play, like, getting ready to go. Like, but, like, you're not going to be unselfish and not tell him to play. Yeah. He's like, oh, tell him, like, say you're running, like, counter or something like that, and, like, he's got a pull, and, like, oh, no, you got that guy, and just, like, mess with it. Like, you're not going to do that. Like, you got to be unselfish, because, like, on the offensive line, you got to work as one. Mm-hmm. You all have to have the same set of eyes. You got to know what you're doing, and I think, like, it's a big thing. It's just, like, not only Leo, because he's a freshman, but, like, everybody in general, like, heck, there's some things like I forget. Like, I'll be down there in a stance, like, Jalen, what is this? Like, what's this play called? Like, we install so much stuff, and, like, I know it's a hard process because me as a freshman, like, I was in Leo's shoes. Yeah. Like, I didn't come in early, but I came in the summertime, and it's like, you know, you're trying to learn the plays, like, oh my goodness. And, like, Joe Ware, like, he was just coming in with me, coming from Bowling Green. Like, he's learning along with us too, and, like, he gave us his number to come out and, like, get footwork in when I was a freshman. Like, that was a big thing on me. Like, but, like, just being unselfish, and, like, we're all working for one big goal, and that's the big old trophy at the end of the year. And not only that, just not only playing for trophies and stuff like that, but, like, getting to have friendships with people and, like, getting to know them and impacting their life. Because, heck, you may impact their life just by saying hello in the morning or how are you doing. Like, you don't know what other people are going through. Exactly. And, like, I think that's a big thing, is, like, try to be an influence for people and be unselfish and do the things, like, I'd want people to do for me. So I think that's a big thing, is unselfishness.
For me, I have to say relentlessness, because, like, I don't know, just no matter, like, what's going on, like, I have to, like, find a way to get better. Yep. Like, I don't know if y'all noticed, like, every day I've been doing a word of the day. Mm-hmm. And today I thought about intentionality, because when I think of relentlessness, I think about, like, where's your focus at? Because when everything's chaotic, when adversity's striking, when everything's just not looking good, like, where's your focus at? Because your focus can waver.
Exactly.
But with me, it's right now I'm not live. I can't hit for real right now, so I got to find a way to get better. Because mostly in practice, like, that's what we're doing right now in the spring. There's a lot of contact, a lot of hitting. So I have to find a way to get better, whether it's mental reps, whether it's working on my pass drops, whether it's like getting better with the playbook. I don't know, but I feel like I have to, like, get better with that, and in school, and being more relentless with my relationships, with my people, like anything like that. I feel like I have to be better at being relentless. So.
Gotcha.
And that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, it's tough.
I put myself in your shoes. Like, that's really hard to, like, go through what you've gone through and continually come to work every day and try to get better at something. Like, I think that's a really big thing. And I think, like, other people should, like, notice that. Like, seriously, like, that's hard. Like, you got told that you may never play football again.
Yeah.
You got told that. And, like, that's a massive thing for you to come to work every day with a smile on your face and be ready to go. So I commend you for that.
Yeah. It's definitely playing college football is definitely not an easy process. You know, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and we're blessed to be able to be here where we're at today. And, you know, we're going to take advantage of all of our opportunities, and
Have to.
we're finishing up spring ball now, and we're getting ready to get into it. You know, get into the summer aspect of it, and get ready for the fall. You know, so we're really excited about it, and looking forward to what this team has to offer. All the new guys coming in the summer, and we're working hard right now. You know, our first scrimmage is set this Saturday. You know, spring game, April 15th, and so we'll be ready to go. You know, we're excited, and
Oh yeah. Definitely.
we'll see what the fall holds. You know, so.
Oh yeah. How about this? What are y'all looking forward most, like, to get better at this spring? Like whether that's on the field, off the field. Like, what do you want to improve on and get better at?
So I'll give you one quick thing. So one thing I want to get better at is probably, if I would say from a quarterback standpoint, probably my deep ball.
Yeah.
Deep ball. Get better at that because, you know, we're explosive offense and want to get better at that. So.
On the field, I definitely say I say ball skills, because I think I've gotten to the point where I understand, like, route combinations. I understand what a quarterback want to go with the ball, but, like, as far as, like, seeing it all the way through and knowing what the ball, where he wants to throw the ball, like, where he's trying to get it to, and just, like I said, seeing it all the way in and actually catching it, you know, getting a pick six.
Yeah, no, definitely. Me, honestly, I kind of just want to work on an abundance of things, you know, continue to get better.
Yeah.
But I'd probably say, like, my footwork, I think it's gotten a lot better since last year.
Oh, yeah.
Just especially coming in, because this is my third offensive line coach. Coach Caster's come in. So, like, I've taken something with each coach. But I think just getting my footwork down, I think he emphasizes on that a lot. So I think just getting my footwork.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 2 of Locker Room Talk. We're looking forward to seeing you out there at Fortera Stadium this fall, and thank you for watching, and hope to see you again.
Go Govs.
Go Govs.
For current and exclusive content, subscribe to CDE Lightband, connecting you at the speed of light.